hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we are doing our final installment of the Garden of the Dead Flowers buddy read.
I am sad that it's coming to an end, but I am so excited to talk about the ending.
I cannot wait. This series has had us hooked from start to finish.
Yeah, this was a phenomenal series.
And it was so fun to read it together.
It won the Alex Award.
The personal Alex
My
Award.
personal Alex Award.
I think we have to figure out what the actual Alex Award is at some point in time. But for now.
Yeah, so that I don't spread misinformation.
The personal Alex Award
Yes.
goes to Garden of the Dead Flowers. So today we're just going to be discussing the finale of the series. Obviously, huge spoilers ahead. So if you have not finished this and you're planning on reading it, definitely pause, go ahead and take a read, and then you can join us for all of the crazy theory discussions, the ending, everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to continue on with the last 3 episodes, starting at episode 57.
All right, so we open with Juna and Saruni in the hospital, and they're just kind of discussing what happened, that Wim was shot and killed, that he had a serial killer twin brother, that Mila was from the future and now she's gone. So they're just kind of processing everything in Juna's hospital room, and it's really hard for both of them because obviously it's Saruni's granddaughter. Juna has gotten really close with her and now she's gone. So they're just kind of trying to process everything that happens.
Yeah.
And then who walks in? Wim and Vincent's father walks into the room. And
read the room, buddy.
Yeah.
No one wants you there.
Well, I know. And you know what? I am horrible because I do feel bad for him in the end.
They do a really good job in the last episode, episode 56, making you feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Mostly because he does have this somewhat tragic past. Like, he really didn't want his wife to die.
Yeah.
Based on the flashbacks you're seeing. And he definitely didn't want his kid to turn out to be a murderer. So he's a pretty tragic character.
Yeah. And he came to apologize, so he is kind of owning up to his choices. Not really, but a little bit. And he gives them a clue and says that someone is alive. But he doesn't say who.
Yeah. He just says everything will be fine and I'll leave him in your care.
Yeah.
And I think they're processing a little bit too much to put some of the pieces together there.
Yeah, they're just like, him? Who's that?
Him? Who's that? Ironically, it rhymes with him.
So he does end up going home and he goes back out to the garden. He has a little interaction with the cat where he says that his master is gone and he needs to go find a new master. And the cat seems to understand what he's saying. We have always said the cat had some kind of strange powers going on, and the cat just kind of leaves at this point. And he starts reflecting on his life with his wife, and he remembers his children being born, and you see that they were named after Van Gogh. So Vincent Willem was his name, or was both of their names, and that was his first and middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw Starry Night when they were born and just named them after Vincent van Gogh. And then he goes back out to the tree. He's still talking to his wife in his head. And you see police start to come in because now everything is coming out that, hey, a serial killer lived here and a lot of dead bodies are buried in this backyard.
Yeah. And unfortunately, trigger warning ahead. Because the only solution that the father really finds is that he finds his only way of escape as ending his own life.
Yep.
So you have a violent scene of him no longer being alive just outside of the tree where his wife had been buried.
Yep. Very sad.
So after all of the commotion, the father's passed away, Vincent is dead, and you do see that they let the reader know that the garden was then left abandoned. All of the flowers eventually wilted and died. And the last budding flower in the garden was a camellia, like Mila, and it will never bloom. And that is the end of the story. It does take us to 2 epilogue episodes.
Yes.
So diving right in there, because heaven knows we were not able to wait for that.
Absolutely not.
We needed those fast passes.
We see Wim is not dead. He is in Europe, and he is reunited with Saruni.
Saruni does kind of give the lowdown, you know, I'm sorry about your loss. I'm sorry about your father. You know, he gave me a hint on where to find you. And there's just so much to catch up on and talk about. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little bit of guilt on Saruni's side still about how she definitely thought Wim was the killer.
Yeah.
Like, didn't give him any benefit of the doubt. Was like, nope, someone who looked like Wim was a murderer. It's Wim.
Yeah. And Wim does not look like he's doing well either. I mean, he's lost his father. He's lost his brother. He found out that his brother was not the person he thought he was. And I think he still feels a little bit guilty as well for how Vincent turned out, just because of how he was treated when he was young. So it's just a really emotional scene. And oh my gosh, it was just beautiful and tragic all at the same time.
Yeah. Saruni does end up kind of confiding in him as the last secret that she never lost her memories. She had left Batavia after thinking she witnessed him brutally murdering a woman.
Yeah.
And that she thought that Wim was just trying to get close to her to kill her like those other women, until she realized the twin brother situation, everything else. And so Wim is super confused. He's like, who's the Saruni that lost her memories? And Saruni does tell Wim that it was their granddaughter.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense now that, you know, Wim can kind of put the pieces together. He looks shocked, as most anybody would be.
But he believes her. He does believe Saruni in what she says, and he actually ends up going home. So he goes back to his house, and then we get to see his life with Saruni in quick flashbacks. So we see him in the garden with his wife and his daughter. We see a glimpse of Saruni and Wim watching their daughter get married, and then we see the grandchildren. And so he is now seeing Mila as his granddaughter, who he remembers from the past.
Yeah. It does take us straight back to the beginning where Camilla has brought him the cake and asked him to blow out the candles. And so now we kind of get to see what the wish was that he made and the context for it.
Yep.
From the very beginning, you know, asking that there could be a difference. And I think that she did make that difference in the past.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of like a continuous loop, though, of happenings.
It's like a chicken and egg thing, which
Yeah.
came first. But the reason I think that he's making this wish is because he thinks that she's going to be gone now because she went back in the past at this time and was lost. So I think that he's worried that she's going to no longer exist because she was injured in the past from the arrow. So you do see that she comes back to the garden, and she is passed out when she comes to the garden, but she is unharmed. And she immediately thinks that Wim is Vincent because, to her knowledge, Wim died and Vincent was the one who was alive still. So she's freaking out. She's saying, I thought you were my grandpa. I thought he was a good person, but you're just a serial killer. And Wim proves that Vincent is gone and that he is Wim by showing the bullet hole from where Vincent shot him and showing his burn mark from where he protected Mila from getting the tea spilled on him in the very beginning. And so she has this reconnecting moment with her grandpa where they're just happy to see each other, both happy that the other is alive.
Yeah.
And it's just a really, really cute moment. So then we see that she is healed. None of her injuries that she got in the past are still with her. And there are some really, really cute chibis at this point too when they're discussing what happened after she left. So we see that the grandpa did keep her phone and was not sure what it was for a long time, and then slowly as time went on realized that it was a smartphone.
Yeah. The whole thing is honestly just so heartwarming. It is nice to know that she can find peace in the fact that her grandfather was a good person because she struggled with that the entire series.
We all did.
We all did. Well, no, you and me didn't struggle at all.
That's true.
We were like, we can fix Vincent.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You know what? I still think I could fix him.
Yeah, it won't be as hard now that he's in his grave.
Oh my gosh.
But you do see Saruni kind of goes back to her regular life and she's back in school. She also gets to see that Juna's grandson, who goes to school with her now, looks exactly like Juna from firsthand experience. So she's starting to piece a lot of this together. And this is probably the funniest part of the entire series to me.
I loved this.
His grandson says that before his great-grandfather passed away, he did ask for him to deliver a message to Camila, and he planned to give it to her as soon as possible, but there was always something in the way. So you do find out that his great-grandfather, Juna, did pass away, and so he's no longer alive when she's receiving this message. But she doesn't get to just have this letter.
She must pass a test.
Yes, a riddle of sorts.
She gets an initial letter, and in that initial letter, she has to say, what round things did he wear on his face? So, as no one could get, unless they knew him personally, she tells Juna's great-grandson.
No one could have guessed
No
it.
one could have guessed.
Alex and I, baffled.
Shocked.
Glasses on his face.
She tells Juna's great-grandson that he wore glasses. And so then she gets a second letter. And that letter is more detailed and has the photo of them.
I do love that it says, congratulations, your answer is correct. As if this was like the most wild of trials.
Oh my god.
I know he was a great grandfather and like I should cut him some slack, but
when did he write this? How long ago was this? Because I mean, I don't know.
But honestly, I do love it. It's pretty cute. And it seems
is.
like Juna's just hectic energy anyways.
Yeah.
So it is a letter just talking about when Camila disappeared from the past and they thought that she would be gone forever. And so really they were just so excited at the thought that she could be reborn because they were just so concerned. And it's mostly just a thank you for everything. But inside of it is a photo of the four of them. So it was Wim, Juna, Katerina, and Camila.
Oh my gosh. And it's such a cute photo. I love Wim's little smirk.
Yeah. So you do see that it does bring Camilla to tears, and her and the great-grandson are just kind of there comforting each other.
Yeah.
You know, she's just very touched and says that all of the time will always be in her heart. And who is looking upon them?
The cat.
The cat.
The cat has something to do with this story. The cat may not be the grandma, but the cat is someone.
So I think now is a perfect time to take an aside before we discuss the afterword to talk about some of the theories that Alex and I have had.
Yes.
Because they took a little bit of a crazy turn for a while.
Yeah.
But some of those crazy theories actually came true.
Yes.
So I definitely wanted to highlight what theories we had that came to fruition and which ones fell flat.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room.
We've already mentioned it.
The cat is not a grandma.
Yeah. We don't know who the cat is, but I do still think that the cat is part of the reason that she went back in time.
It has to be. How is the cat still alive?
Yeah, that's a very old cat. And the cat does not look old.
No, the cat looks like a kitten.
Yeah.
With a little bell around its neck.
This is an eternal kitten. It's a genie.
An eternal kitten.
Yeah.
It's the birthday genie. It granted
Yeah.
the wish for Wim.
Now, a couple things we did get right. One that I got right was that Vincent saw the dad kill the mother, and that's why he was scared of the father, and why Wim was not scared of the father, but hated the mother by thinking that the mother left them. But Vincent loved his mother because he knew the truth.
Yeah. He knew that she was just a victim of really domestic abuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did get that one like nail on the head.
Yeah.
So good for you, Alex.
Thank you.
There was one that I got kind of half right, which was that Vincent would kill Wim and take Wim's place.
Yeah.
So it was looking like I would be fully right for a while.
He tried.
He did. He assumed the identity for a while.
Yeah.
And he was going to try for it.
He was.
But it did turn out for the best. Wim did make it through. And Vincent, unfortunately, did meet his demise.
Yeah.
We could have fixed him, but we didn't. And
we should have tried harder.
we were never given the chance, really.
Yeah.
But I will say, all in all, I think a lot of our theories were a little outlandish.
We may have gone a little crazy.
You know, these series will do that to you. But it was really fun to form the theories along the way and verbalize them so we could kind of reflect back. And last but not least with this series, there was a beautiful afterword by the creator themselves.
I loved the afterword. There's 2 creators there. Yes. So one who I think did the story and the other who did the art.
Yes, Ciro and Corbenix.
Yes.
This was a comic that was submitted as a competition story
For Webtoon.
And so the writer talks about how at first they wanted to create a story about a psychopath that owned a flower shop and used like the murdered women as fertilizer. So it really is not super far off from that.
Yeah.
Mostly the changes that it sounds like the author had made were incorporating a lot of the historical Indonesian influences. And so it really is neat to see how those original concepts came into play.
The first concept art that is shown in the afterword, I love, which is, I think, probably Wim holding the roses. I love it. It's gorgeous.
It really is beautiful. And they do show several different types of this concept art. The creators are hysterical. Their entire story cracks me up, even to the point where they were talking about the historical genre. And underneath there is a picture that is a play on The Sound of Music.
I loved this so much.
Where they have Vincent as the main character.
As Maria. Yeah. And everyone else, we have Kat, we have Mila. I don't know who the other 2 are. Who are those other 2? Oh,
2 other women he's murdered.
Yeah, it's one of them is Ruse.
Yeah, the bitch.
Yeah, and they're in the background, they're the flowers.
Yeah. They're the flowers in the background.
And it says, "Look at all the flowers adorning my garden."
It is beautiful. But there were fun facts in this afterword. So it talks about how the creator did have 2 alternative storylines.
Oh my gosh. I want to see that alternative storyline so bad.
I really do too. Oh my gosh. There was one. And so the concept art underneath it, where it was like the second that I would have chosen, it would have turned out to be that my grandpa is not really my grandpa, but the twin brother of my husband.
Yeah, I think that this one is really that could be a title for one of the comics that we read.
Just one of the long, unhinged ones.
My grandpa, but the twin brother is really the twin brother of my husband. So yeah, I think that I would read that story. I would reread this entire story with that as the ending.
Yeah, I will say, but it seems like the creators are so sweet. I loved the afterword. It's always a great way to bring you close to the creators themselves.
Yeah.
And they did say that they really wanted to see, that multiple people have mentioned wanting to see this webcomic adapted into a series or film. So they did a bunch of sketches of what the characters would look like behind the scenes.
I love it.
Preparing
so
for their roles. It was very cute, and we get a final picture of the little cat.
Yes, and then it ends with some fan art that is really, really cool, so definitely take a look at the fan art at the end as well.
All in all, it does give us a final farewell, so a final farewell to everybody. This was such a fun buddy read. I almost like the concept of doing our buddy reads as thrillers.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that happens in the process.
That's true, but we do have the Choose Your Heroes Carefully as one that we've already started.
Yeah, and we will be continuing. So
Yes.
do expect that continuing forward. But thank you all so much for joining us on this truly super fun journey. The webcomic was so great to read, and I loved this start to finish.
Me too.
If you haven't read along with us, now's your time to read it. Or if you've just enjoyed hearing our outlandish theories and us discussing the series as it went on, then I'm so sorry it's coming to a close, but feel free to listen to our additional buddy reads moving forward. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, creators Ciro and Corbenix, for a wonderful series to read together. And looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.